Prey is the same movie as the original 1987 Predator, except this time the entire main cast isn't built like The Rock. It's the same house with just a different coat of paint, and that's why it shouldn't exist.
Not every smart creature's easy to train.
That line of dialogue perfectly encapsulates modern entertainment. Hollywood is aware they're giving people the same recycled, sanitized, creatively stifled content. Their reaction when pitched unique and risky story ideas is probably,
"I'll cut off your nutsack and nail it to my door!"
They won't be trained out of the mindset that safe, generic entertainment is the best entertainment until something changes. And that's my problem with Prey. It reinforces the fact Hollywood's status quo is viable and that they feel comfortable enough to make the same movie, which makes Prey worthless. I mean, look at all the franchises Hollywood is milking and ruining because of their fear of new IPs and loss of profit. Alright, I'll come back to this later. So how's the movie itself? Well, it's just the original, but this time with modern CGI and Native American people. The plot starts with us being introduced to Naru and her dog that has the jaw muscles of a demigod. We're introduced to the other characters, and they go on a journey to find and kill this mountain lion.
Meow.
And this happens. Humanity is going to cure cancer before they stop using shitty animal jump scares. Naru encounters the puma concolor and tries to defend herself against it, but this happens. So you're telling me once she badunked her head on the stone, the mountain lion didn't finish her off? An extremely vulnerable intruder that was in its territory. And you're telling me that her brother came back so fast that he was able to grab her and then was able to bring her back with the lion right there? Nope, not buying it. Naru at least should have been injured by the lion or killed by it, or her brother should have been injured, and any of these situations alter the plot either a lot or in lesser, still kinda significant ways, but whatever. Naru leaves and goes after the predator by herself. We have a little scene where Naru is being an off-brand Kratos, but not gonna lie, the rope axe is pretty cool. And then she gets attacked by a bear, which is then killed by the predator, and this is how she learns about how it doesn't register everything as a threat. Some of her tribesmen try to bring her back home, most notably the dude whose entire character is pretty much,
"Okay, females don't deserve rights, it's my opinion."
But the predator kills them all, but they did get some pretty good damage on them. Then Naru and her brother get captured by some French people. Then the predator kills all the French people, but they also got some pretty good damage on them. Then afterwards, Naru kills like 8 dudes. I'm like, okay, I guess? Last time she was in a 1v1,
Fight!
she was pretty clunky and awkward, but now she's fucking Black Widow and significantly better somehow without training or anything. Not the most believable thing for her character. I feel like she should have been at least physically wounded, which would have given the final confrontation more tension.
You triggered my trap card!
So then she learns the orange flower can hide her presence from the predator. It's pretty much just the mud from the original, and then her brother dies.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Then she has the final battle where the predator gets her in a compromised position where literally all he has to do is activate his shield, but he waits an entire 6 seconds to open his shield because the plot needed the predator to not have common sense so Naru could live and win. Like literally the predator is shown to not fuck around. Like when he was fighting the wolf, he killed it as soon as it got near his weapon without hesitation, and even after he's worn down and has been injured like hell, he can react fast enough to block Naru's attacks and catch her when she tries to run away. So why didn't he just kill her? The world will never know. Actually we do. The almighty plot. We must bow down and worship its infinite power. But anyway, Naru defeats the predator on some Mortal Kombat shit.
Kitana wins. Flawless victory.
All of the characters are just plot devices to weaken the Predator until he's tender and vulnerable enough to be killed by Naru. They function no different from the bear that the Predator was fighting. And most things in this movie make logical sense. You can tell that this Predator is kind of naive and inexperienced to an extent, and that explains his lack of more advanced weaponry, although he's not a pushover. So here's the plot stat, all the flaws taken into account.
You triggered my trap card!
Everything is not Hollywood's fault. Look at it like this. Say you pay domestic terrorists to blow up cheese factories because cheese is disgusting. I'm not even joking, I hate cheese so much. But you want the terrorists to stop blowing up the factories. But you don't stop selling the explosives, because allowing them to bomb cheese factory employees pays well. So that bullshit keeps happening and spreads throughout the world, because you're enabling them to continue what they're doing. And the same applies to Hollywood with your money. Imagine all of the deep, engaging, unique stories you'll never get to see because of the uninspired nature of the industry. I'm simply advocating for the little guy that sadly never gets their story recognized. And Hollywood could help with this conundrum, but they've become uninterested because they don't have to. Evolution will not occur when there's no pressure to adapt. Characters have to be three things: believable, compelling, and purposeful. And there is only one character worth discussing. Wake up, bozo, I'm about to analyze you. Naru has some believability issues I mentioned earlier, and I knew she was going to defeat the Predator, so she's not that compelling. And her purpose in the story is negatively affected because she should have died to the Predator. Also, here's the character stat. The only themes I could draw out of this is that the unknown can be extremely dangerous to people, which is executed well, and that you should pursue your individualistic desires, which is portrayed by the story with Naru's character. Try as hard as possible to reach your goals, but realize there is a certain extent of luck and the actions of other people involved, and that you may never reach them, in this context being killed. But try anyway, and it shows how being so hyper fixated on your goals can get you or people associated with you in undesirable situations. But it falls flat on its ass when you realize she should have been killed by the Predator, which would have portrayed the terrifying fact that you may never achieve your goals. So here's the theme stat. And here's the overall level of this movie.